most likely I won't do this, but I am thinking about buying a inflatable kayak. They're surprisingly not so heavy as you might think if you get a little more pricey than all these things work. But yeah, this is panning out really nicely. I've been wondering about this for a long time. Oh yeah, I know why. Because I was down on Colony Farms, down beside Riverview. You know, where they used to have rehabilitation through work sort of program, and it was really successful in terms of helping people and producing some of the best beef in the world. Apparently, it was really a going concern. That's what Riverview was. What is it now? Well, it's not housing the people who need housing, is it? Sorry, I'm getting cheesy. I guess I go all over the place. But the thing is that that's where this creek runs into the Fraser. And I know how to get there. And it's, you know, a little cumbersome, but yeah, it's cumbersome to get the trip. It's cumbersome for me to get up here. But not that much, you know, you just have to change trains and buses. If you're carrying something like that, like I don't think it's but I can manage that, can I? Yeah, that'd be great. I can get quite a bit higher from here, and yeah, the Fraser River is really late. I'm pretty sure. So I'm just downstream from some beach. I can't imagine a beach here, but apparently, well, that's what they call it. Anyway, like rivers don't usually have the name beach in it, so I'm just downstream from the place that it's called beach, and it would be on the west side. So the west side of River Beach. So I'm just downstream from there. I didn't go there. But I've been just so delighted with this place from the moment I got here. Cottonwoods are coming out. It's boggy country, you know. It kind of looks like beaver dams, the little creeks, you know, running this way and that. It's a very wet place. It's a beautiful little river. And, oh yeah, when I was down there, that's where I was saying that, okay, I found a place where I would put a kayak in the river here. So obviously I'm not going to do anything stupid. And it would be stupid to come up here. I'm not saying I'm going to buy one and go to the top. But I could buy one and paddle around down on the bottom and just, probably the best thing to do, if this is possible, would be to just try to paddle up as far as I could. Right? Because that'd be really difficult. Right? And, you know, just try to comprehend, you know, the water's quite cold, the rocks are hard and slippery, the water's running quickly. And I'm 64, and, you know, I noticed that the lack of balance is really creepy. I hate that. It's not that often, but it's sometimes. Like, I just never felt that clumsy before. Like, just awful. But I'll tell you something that's really amazing, that I've just on it from a positive point of view on it. Yeah, this is weird, because the guy that I first noticed doing that is a bad character who I don't like, and I wish I could just eliminate from my life. But I saw him a few times. He would walk wherever he was going in just these sort of thick socks, but they were just definitely socks. There's no shoes on him, and he was a kind of a big, fat, stocky guy. And he could run, you know, pretty fast, just in his sock feet, right? Up the street, down the street, in the store, down the store, doing everything you want to do, and he's bouncing around on the balls of his feet. So I noticed that. I thought that's pretty amazing. And I watched him go by one time, and he was going by me, bouncing around on the balls of his feet, and a mean-looking person too. And he had a bottle of vodka that he just polished off and threw it and broke the glass on it. Retaining water, right? Like, really bad. But okay, and then in the gym, there's There's a guy in there, and I might as well go ahead and name his race because you'll be curious about that. Yeah, I think that he's probably from. Uh, Maybe he's Canadian. I don't know, but I don't think so because what I go by is accent, so I can tell if somebody's native. If he's not native, he's very. I mean, if he doesn't speak the standard English that people in Canada speak if they're careful, then I know that they're not from around here because that's how accents work. It's funny how you always wind up defending yourself. Anyway, I was sort of going with maybe Bermuda or something. But the thing is that he's like huge, right? He's really is big. And the first time I met him, I was like pushing myself a bit, and he came in there, and he just like, and he was really like puffy and puffy, like really active. This is not the guy that I like. I don't know this one. I don't know, but he's just like got this massive amount of energy. And so he comes in and he picks up two 50-pound barbells and starts doing curls with it. So he does, 4, 5, 10 curls with the 50-pounders, and then jumps over to someone else and puffs away at that and bounces over somewhere else. Like, the guy is really fit. And there was another guy, an Indian guy in there, and he was, just looking at me, I think, a little bit like we were commiserating a bit, because we both felt a little bit weird. We looked at each other, geez, and both impressed too. Like the guy's just an impressive physique, right? For sure. You couldn't help but be impressed. He's big and strong. How could you not be impressed by that? And then I saw him the next time, and he was a bit better, and then I saw him coming back from work. He's a construction worker. So I see him coming back from work, and then I think the thing is that, so I saw him between those times, and I look at him, and he doesn't seem to remember who I am. Like, from the first encounters at the gym, he was just pulling iron. Oh, and the other thing is he started yomping on me to push, like, doing the whole raw, jumping up and down, fist pump, fucking push it, right? Are you kidding me? And, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. You rip up your shoulders and your elbow. I buggered up mine already. But not bad. Like, I'm not going to lift weights much anymore. I don't think. Anyway, so I finally got around to talking to him, and he's really knowledgeable about health for sure. And so we're talking about something, and something that he said had helped me with my back. I forget what it was. Like, these guys that just share anything that they think is good information. And he gave me a good piece of information, and I've forgotten what it was. And he looked at me and he said, walk on the balls of your feet. Walk up in your toes, sort of. Walk around like that. And he's showing me. Now he's being really gentle. It's like he knows, you can see I'm this old guy. And so he's like walking gently around the room and showing me how to walk on the balls of my feet. And I wish I'd learned that earlier. I mean, that is such a big difference in the way you feel. Just doing that for a while. And I'm sure it would have helped my back too. And I can't exactly say that it's good for my back, but I think it's better for my back if I have to run, which I do quite frequently because I have to catch buses. So I have to run quite a bit. It still hurts, but I think it's less than it was before. I'm sure it's worse. Better than it was before, and I'm sure that I'm stronger because of it. There's just no question about that. So one thing that happened, I had to get off the bus coming back from Horseshoe Bay into town, and I'd gotten on the wrong bus, but the right bus was right in front of me. Right? It was on Marine Drive in West Vancouver. So, I told the driver my situation, right? I got on the wrong bus. I should have got on the one before it. And can you let me off? And he said, no, you wouldn't make it. You have to go to Lansdowne or whatever it is. So we get to Lansdowne, and he's, saying, you've got to move here. You got to be quick, right? So here we go. You ready? Kind of like that, right? And then the doors came open, and I came off the doors, and I wanted to head like straight up to the bus, right? What I hadn't noticed, or maybe couldn't see, is that there were people coming down, right beside the bus that I was trying to get on. So I had to deke out of the way of them, right? So I had to deke out of the way of them. And, I was planning on moving quickly. It's like a kind of like, when you're a kid and you walk in your soft feet in the floor, there's a sort of a float that happens, You can just do it for a little while. I've always felt sort of like that. That sort of, 10, 15 yards is weightless. Yeah, so I'm feeling good. I think I'm going to, enjoy this sort of thing. And then these people are in my way, and I had to jump over. And then because I had to get on that bus, I had to jump back and get to the front door. And I made it, and I just made it. But the thing is that was the first time, I think, in 20 years where I felt like light on my feet. Like, I remember when I was a kid, and I just barely remember it now. I mean, it's a little hard to believe, actually. But I basically forget what a nimble little fucker I was when I was a kid. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that I was nimble. Definitely not, obviously. And so I had just a sort of a feeling of that. And I haven't had that in 25 years until it comes to mind. And it's probably pretty close. Anyway, yeah. Vancouver, no expectations of the Quitlam River. Yeah. It's great, isn't it? Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to carry you along. Sorry about that. I don't have my gimbal. And I'm not looking into the screen because it's like this, okay? When the path looks like this, it's hard to look into the camera unless point the camera at the ground. Here's the kids. And a pregnant lady. And the baby. It's very friendly. Family-friendly place. I was just thinking about feminism, as I want to do, and came up with a question. And that was, how many women has feminism prevented, or how many women has feminism helped to experience that? And it's only a feminine joy. Nobody else gets to do this. Right? This is a feminine joy at being perfectly happy with your partner, especially if he's your husband. I just think that in life, that's probably the best thing that a woman ever experiences. I mean, it's just obvious. And if she's experiencing that, she's probably experiencing a lot of other great things too, because she would be happy. A lot comes from happiness. So this is something that crossed my mind. I remember that when I first started this, I was thinking that I might have interesting enough things to say, but then didn't think of anything interesting to say, and thought that I could just turn on the microphone and say interesting things. And it turned out rather badly. So when I went to Bowen Island, I came back. Jalong and I talked about it, and I said, I think I need to make some videos that are totally silent, like I'm not going to talk. Hey, you want to be on my video?
No, thanks.
Just say hi. Hi. Bye. Bye-bye. If you use that phrase too frequently, then people come to really rely on it. So you want to be careful, because it's a bye-bye that says everything's totally happy. We're leaving on perfectly good terms, right? Everything's great. And you can do it even when things aren't great. It's a lot harder, and it's phony. But still not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, see, now I'm just wandering off onto something. So what would I rather think of? Oh, okay, I know. The Jordan Peterson video I saw this morning. He's talking about incorporating your shadow, recognizing that you have a persona, which is the mask that you wear to the world. And the persona is related to who you really are. No convincing persona wouldn't actually resonate in your own heart and soul and mind, right? It's not like you're always pretending. It's impossible. So your persona does reflect you. It reflects the better side of you, and it reflects the badder side of you. But the thing is that it's necessary, because if you don't have access to your shadow, which is sort of like the bad part of yourself, you might not be able to defend yourself. That's the problem. And being victimized all the time make you feel real angry. Probably the opposite of the woman that's totally happy with her husband. But these things are elemental. If you don't stand up for yourself, then you're going to be so filled with resentment that you're going to destroy yourself and possibly do something truly dangerous. I'm not saying that I'm going to do something truly dangerous or whatever, but it's true that I can imagine it, and that I do imagine it, because I think it might be necessary. I don't live in the safest of neighborhoods. So yeah, it's an ugly thing, you know. So just like recently, what I've just been doing is practicing uppercuts, because you're short range. You don't really have much of another choice but an uppercut. You're not going to get a chance. If they're aggressive and moving towards you, you'd be lucky to get one of those in. And then you have to be prepared what happens when it's too late for the uppercut, like your arms are pinned up against a wall or something like that. Like, you can't let that happen. I went out today and there was this guy, looked like almost like he had a job, and he was cutting the gunk out of the the seams, the breaks in the concrete with a knife. I wouldn't go to that part of town, but Geelong likes the discount store down there. But the thing is a lot of the people he relates to as a psychologist are women. And he said that this is particularly necessary for women, because there's more women who are just really, really happy to make other people happy. It just satisfies the best part of them. Right? But they, eventually it's the old thing, they come to neglect themselves, and that's not good. So even the people who, like a good nurse, there's good nurses, you can tell that they love to help people, to help them relieve their pain. They really take a lot of pleasure, I guess you could say. Jesus, this river's opening up, right? It's really opening up ahead here. It might be too wide, I think, or too shallow. Unless it goes calm. No, I don't think it changes that much. Like, really, you have a responsibility to incorporate your shadow, because sometimes shadows are necessary. And what he said is that if you understand that, or you think you understand it, you wouldn't know until you're actually violently assaulted. What if all your thinking and training meant anything? But I forget what I was saying. There are benefits to living in a place where you're afraid that you might have to defend yourself. I'd rather I didn't. You didn't have to out on Bowen Island. Bowen Island is great. Bowen Island is really neat. I think it's quite unique, probably. And I hope it gets to stay that way. So first we'll walk down to the river, as one would naturally do. Then we're going to cross the bridge and head back upstream to get to... Yeah, no, I'm not going to go down there. We're going to cross the bridge and then head back up north towards the mountains. It's crazy. What's really cool to me about this place is that it seems like it's just like 7 minutes on the bus from Coquitlam Center. Like that's a major transit retail outlet, you know, megalith thing, you know, that they have at all the train stations. It's a really major one. And when you get there, got some people coming, so I'm going to point the camera the other direction. Maybe I can get them to talk to me, maybe. Some people you don't fuck with, so you have to figure out this one. Not that I want to do that. So I was going to ask him, hey, you want to say hi on my video? I'm dangerously friendly. Like, really. I get myself in trouble. Yeah, from coming home from Bowen Island, I was just kind of joking a bit. It attracted the attention of really a quite big girl, robust and nuts. Ugh. And that's squeezed in there too, right? That bus gets crowded. You know, this urban wandering that we do here on Vancouver No Expectations is really quite interesting just at its core, because what we're doing is we're getting out and experiencing nature, but then transitioning fairly quickly towards okay, now the question is, do I actually have the jam to do this? And I don't think I do. The other side was nicer, I think. Yeah, it definitely was nicer, wasn't it? I'm just going to go back. It'd be better for me to get off on this side, but I'm not going to. Yeah, there's just that old thing, you know. Like Larry's saying, you know when you're getting old. It's not a great feeling. I'm trying to keep the camera out of the... I hope I did that nicely. Let's just take a nice cruise.
Running fast, you know.
Stop. I stopped too early. And I stopped too early on what are really pleasant shots. Like, I think, you know, a lot of people like to make the comment that my videos are really lousy, and I have to admit, I concur completely. And I'll probably start deleting some of them. I mean, I don't have the original file for some of them, so I'm not going to delete something if it's got 3 minutes, it's got 2 seconds of something that I really want. I might leave a 5-minute dud up there. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I was going to start trying to be more careful with my filmmaking. See if I can't do a better job. Improve my skills. The YouTubers on channel, they don't complain about what hard work it is that they do. Like for me, when I look at what they do, I just, Jesus, you guys got a lot of energy for sitting on buses, right? A lot. That's why I like living in a city where you can go from the, cultural malaise, melees, M-E-L-E-E, just the melee. There it is, the melee. You can go from utter melee of different sorts to quiet streets and financial districts, and then get out into the country really easy. Vancouver's the perfect city at the summertime, except that it's too hot. I felt the heat as a threat right away. Just felt like a threat. Oh no, there's that heat coming to stress our hearts out again. That's what it does. It's not good. I like about 20 degrees with a thick overcast. 20 degrees with a thick overcast. It's not as beautiful as it's so obvious. Some mealy things to say, right? It's not interesting. You have to specify and get the details right anyway. This is where somebody said, "Are you listening to yourself? Why are you always being so self-critical?" I don't really talk about that. That was just putting on that. I used to do this song. I don't know if I can remember it. It was a Chinese woman who went on to star in like Point Grey's Anatomy and all that kind of stuff. The Chinese girl on Point Grey's Anatomy. If you have a chance to see a movie that she's shot in Vancouver, kind of a low budget thing, that is a great movie. That is a great movie. I wish I remembered what that was. But there's some movies you just want to tell people, this is a good one. This is a really good one, right? The male character, the male lead is so wimpy, it's just sort of nauseating, really. It's embarrassing what a wimp he is. But he's not a wimp, it's like he's not a wimp when he meets her, but he is by the time they've been together for a while. Something like that, I think. That's actually how it goes. Anyway, she used to do this sort of a gay-sounding country and western song. And it was such a fantastic performance that I learned it. But what I would do is I would just put the song on and then maybe get the lyrics or something like that. Probably not, because I sang it so often. And then there's kind of a beach. What in darnation is going on here? There is a beach. And this isn't even the official beach. See, I've forgotten what I just said because I was surprised by the fact that there's a beach. Yeah, it's getting a bit too wide and shallow here, I think. And it'll be running high right now too, so I don't know. In the summer they do like a tire tube float down here as a party. I'd like to go to that. That'd be fun. But I have to be in shape. The water's cold, Bad for a bad back. It's just a factor that you have to consider. But I don't know. I sure didn't feel it when I was out on Bowen Island. First I had to get there. And then had to, find the right buses and go the right way and get lost and all that stuff. I think I was there. What time did I get there? I think I got there around 1 and left at around 7:30. I left Bowen Island. I think it's getting kind of late. And yeah, there were 4 treks of 2 kilometers each that I did. Just that's just part of the walking around that I would have done that day, right? Getting from my house to the SkyTrain is a walk. A little bit downhill on the way there, which is a little bit of extra pressure, and then a little bit uphill on the way back. Yeah, it's a bit of a walk just to the train station. That's just nothing. And my back started to hurt, and so I sought what remedies I could find in Mother Nature. Sitting on that gorgeous beach, Bowen Bay Beach. And yeah, just had ambitions to get out there and see things. So I went out to Killarney Point and explored around a little bit up there. I went to Bowen Bay. And I went to another place I can't remember because I didn't really like it much. Really lovely beach. It was just developed really quite distastefully for my 2 cents worth. Yeah, I forget what it is. The one that's just south of Bowen Bay is not good. It's ugly. And yes, I'm sure that if you wandered around a bit, you could probably find nice vantage points. And I'm sure you could. Absolutely sure you could, in fact. But the way that it's set up at the main sort of entrance part is... there doesn't seem to have been any consideration for the aesthetics there. So I'm beginning to get a little curious just how far I need to walk today. This thing doesn't seem to be going much anywhere, does it? Yeah, I imagine this is quite a ways to go yet, and it's time would it be? What time did I get on? Got on the bus in Port Coquitlam at 3:55. So it should be getting a little bit late, actually. It could be late. See, I was considerate of you, the viewer, by backing up like that. Yeah, it might be a little bit later than I think. The benefit of doing this in the city is I can just, like for example in this situation, it's quite steep, isn't it? Because I could just bail anytime I want. Because if I want to take a longer bus ride, I just have to go to the left here. I think I'm going to. It's getting too hot. You want to get away from the river. Yeah. That's a bummer, I guess, but... yeah, it's not so bad. And there's some exercises that I've been looking at to relax and stretch and strengthen those 2 muscles that run down alongside your spine. I think that's helping too. I think that to deal with my back, the way that I did it, because, okay, well, I had 3 bulging discs. One of them, a little seriously, right? Definitely it was pushing on my nerves. I know that for sure. They tried to kill the nerves it was pushing on with electricity. Is to just pay attention to it all the time. And if it hurts, do something else. Because if you don't do that, and it's a drag, of course, in a way, I guess, but it grounds you too. Then you do things that are causing you pain, and that's a signal from your body that you shouldn't be doing it. So if there's pain in your body, you should pay attention to it. So we got a family down over here. Lots and lots of fannies, grannies, families.